Because recently there's a lot of Indian investors coming to Indonesia looking for resources for coals and for other commodities. Now there's another thinking that perhaps Indonesia should be back to the basic as an agricultural producer and exporter for the two growing countries like China and India. And then there's another aspect that maybe India and Indonesia, or China and Indonesia, the three countries can cooperate, whereby there should be an industrial linkage or collaboration in that respect. But that takes some time to do. Now, in the field of the what do you call it? In the field of consulting, do you see any bigger demands now from Indonesia to look for your services?
Yes, we are seeing this kind of demand from Indonesian organizations who now want to professionalize and become much more globally adept at facing the so-called challenges, to understanding how they can grow. And these are small to medium-sized companies. In fact, large companies are still struggling with inward perspective of how they're looking. There's a medium and small-sized companies who want to grow and get more outward looking on how to utilize these opportunities. And I think that's where a great value will be added. And the other is that, I am reminded of this incident I tell, that, we had agricultural economy in 1930s or 1800s, all we were farmers. In 1900, we had the industrial era, where everything went to factories. In 2000, we have moved into information age, where everything works on the digital connectivity. Now, India is in that digital connectivity at the forefront, with its software houses, with its business process outsourcing, call centers. India's moved there. And China is at the manufacturing era, the industrial era, becoming the manufacturing base for the world. Indonesia is still at agriculture and mining.
That's right.
Now, I think the country's leaders have to decide where they want to play. They want to be happy at agricultural era, but then there's not so much of value creation at that. There's a limited life space, because eventually the resources will run out, partly needed for local consumption, export. And eventually when resources run out, what are you going to do? I think the best thing is to develop people, like some of the countries in the region where they're exporting people as professional managers. Singapore is a great example, the education system there and the way they're training, and they're shipping out people now who are going into China, Malaysia, Thailand as professional managers and leaders. I think Indonesia's got a better potential because there's more entrepreneurship here. There's more competition here, and so we can train those people and start, and we can bypass manufacturing and go into services. It may not happen overnight, could be 5-10 years from now, 15 years from now. At least we have made the effort.
Very interesting. So you're saying you develop the people, the professionals, and export them overseas?
Yes, I mean, look at the example of India. We have very little manufacturing compared to China. We have very little resources for 1.2 billion people. So we developed each person, at least in major cities or major towns. And today we contribute $1 trillion of export of software and services from India, where each individual can be sitting at home on your computer terminal and delivering value.
Do you have records how many in India the overseas Indians that contributes funds back to India, repatriation of the capital back to India?
I don't have the records right now, but this number has been growing significantly over the last 2-3 years, especially in the last crisis last year when the banking system in USA and Europe was being hit. A lot of Indians were repatriating. In fact, State Bank of India recorded 41% growth in its profit year by year. Compared to the last year. They've recorded a much higher repatriation and higher profitability.
Fantastic. You know, there was one economist, Indonesian economist, at one seminar was mentioning statistic that the transfer of funds from Indonesian working overseas, TKI, we call it TKI, is higher than the revenue from the tourism industry.
Very much possible.
Think about 6 billion for tourism, about 9 billion from Indonesian professionals. To think of it, to have that 6 billion, the government and private sector are investing in billions of dollars for the hotel infrastructure, etc. So what you're saying earlier is very true. If we can develop more Indonesian professional, skilled Indonesian, and export them overseas, ship them out overseas in a global market, I think the revenue should be increased significantly.
True.
But for that, maybe language is number one. You got to be proficient in English. Number two is the skill that we need to learn from you, from anyone coming to this country. The skill of the trade in international markets is different also.
Mindset also.
Yes, the mindset.
We need to go on to two sets of things on mindset. One is speed with which we respond, and the other is 24/7 mindset of service to customer. Opportunities fade very rapidly.
Okay.
If I see a lot of Indonesian organizations have people who are tang, and the guy goes at 5 or 6 p.m. Unfortunately, that doesn't bode well.
Yeah.
People have to sit and realize that competition is very intense overseas.
Yes. Thank you, Naresh. Very well put. That closes the third segment for tonight's program. Should be coming back after the commercial break. Thank you.